Well, welcome to the program now, coming live from Memphis this morning. George Klein, welcome to the morning show here. How are you?
Hey, Rollin, I'm pretty good. It's 100 degrees in Memphis. What is it in Eureka?
It is drippy, overcast, fog, and it's been this way for about a month, and everybody's getting all moldy out here. It's, 58 degrees.
Oh, my heavens.
Yeah, our natural air conditioning.
We need to ship some of that to Memphis.
We'll trade you. You know, I got to say, I love coming back to. We come back to Memphis to get pumped up for our St. Jude Radiothon. We usually are back there in the cool time in January, and I've been over to Graceland about 3 different times now. Every time that we've been over, and I've done all of the tours. It is just, it's amazing. People ask, well, what's Graceland like? You know, and it's interesting to step into something that somebody just shut the clock off on in 1977, and has just pretty much stayed as it was when Elvis left.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Roland. It's like it's frozen in time. And when I'm interviewing people, excuse me, as they come by, see, I don't have my cough switch here.
Go ahead, take a good cough there, George.
Right. Anyway, no, Roland. When people come by, they've been through Graceland. Then after you go to the house, you go to the car museum, as you know, and then the other things. Then you go to the airplane. Well, I'm right before the airplane, and I come out of the studio. And I grab people and I say, they like me interviewing, but prove that I'm at Graceland. So I bring them in the control room and I say, well, what was it like going through Graceland? And I tell you, Roland, they all have the same feeling. Well, they say, GK, it was like it's frozen in time. And there's a feeling, there's a warm feeling as though he's still in that house somewhere. And they all have that, they mean that in a nice way.
Yeah. I've got to say, it was a great tour. If no one has gone through there, it's a great tour, and I found it kind of a little bit eerie of all the stuff that I saw. I went through the kitchen. I think there was video playing of he and the family swimming in the backyard pool, and then stepped out of the kitchen, and there's the pool. And at that point, it hit me. It's like, man, this is right where he walked. This is where he played. This is where he lived.
That's right. It's like it's like going through the Smithsonian or something, because that's where, like you said, that's where he lived. At all the parties and the jungle room and all of those things are right there for people to see.
Well, let me ask you now, GK, George Klein, you go by GK because that's what Elvis called you, is that correct?
That's right.
And you first met Elvis in, what was it, 8th grade?
8th grade at Humes High, North Memphis. Yeah, music class.
And in walks this guy with the guitar right there in school. And according to what the little bit I've been able to read about your book that you've got, Elvis, My Best Man, there's something that stood out special about Elvis right away.
I'm sorry?
I said there was something special when you first met Elvis. First around that.
Yeah, Roland, what it was, I don't know what it was, but many years later I look back on it, and I realized it was a subconscious thing. We're in the 8th grade, for 12 years old, and Elvis asked the teacher if he could bring his guitar class to sing. That wasn't cool back in 1948. And he did that, and he got up in front of the class, and he sang 2 songs. I remember he sang Cold, Cold, Icy Fingers, a Teresa Burr song, and he sang Old Shep, a song that he later recorded. And I said, wow, man, I've never seen anything like that. There was some polite claps in the class. They applauded very lightly. And then through the rest of the years in high school, occasionally he would still continue to bring his guitar to school at lunchtime. He'd get out on the grounds and he'd maybe sing a song. The girls would come around, or he would sing in the classroom at a classroom function, a party or something. And then where it culminated was our senior year, Roland, we had a talent show. And I was being the class president producing the talent show. And whoever won the talent show got to do an encore. And lo and behold, Elvis won, got back to come back and do another song. And I said to myself, maybe this guy's got a chance.
Well, let me talk to you real quick. I know we've got a limited time here. Elvis's anniversary of his death is coming up on Monday, and everybody always kind of remembers when they heard that Elvis passed. A lot of folks have written lots of books over the years, and you never have until now. Why is it that you have decided to publish a book that you've got out called Elvis, My Best Man? Why now?
Well, that's a very good question, Roland, because I didn't want to write the book. I'm a radio and TV guy like you, and I said that's my medium. I do documentaries and I do radio specials, but I'm not a book writer. But they came to me, they being the publisher and friends with them, and said, George, you've never written a book. I said, there's 50 books on Elvis. Why do you want me to write a book? They said, because you were there from day one. You saw it from the 8th grade. You knew his mom and dad like nobody else. You traveled with him in the early days. All those people are dead. They're gone. But you're still around. You can give us all those great stories from the early days, and especially going into Hollywood, so forth and so on. And I said, well, some of the books documental some of that. They said, yeah, but George, here's what we want you to do. And I said, what's that? They said, you had a very illustrious radio and TV career in Memphis. awesome. When it first started with Elvis and Jerry Lee and Carl Perkins and Johnny Cash and those guys. And you played those records, man. And you can bring that into it. Also on your TV show, which was Rollin, it was similar to a bandstand. They said you were innovative, and they never had black entertainers on that show until you took it over, and you forced the TV station to let you put black entertainers on. And that was cool because you broke James Brown, you broke Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, Booker T and MGs, all those acts on your TV show. And I said, now you're talking, let's go. So we went, and it took us 2 years to write it.
And the book is called Elvis, My Best Man, and it is because Elvis was your best man at your wedding, correct?
That's right, Roman. Elvis gives me a call one day, and he says, GK, you're the only guy in the group that's not married. I said, Elvis, I'm aware of that. He said, I'll make you a deal. I said, what, Elvis? He said, if you get married, I will be your best man. He said, I will pay for your entire wedding. We'll have a big party on a nice suite, 3-room, 3,000 at the Hilton in Vegas. We'll party in and we'll have a great time. I said, Elvis, you got a deal.
Well, listen, George, I could talk to you for hours, I'm sure. It's going to be in the book here that I'm going to sit down and finish reading here. It's Elvis, My Best Man. And if anybody wants to tune in, you're still on the radio, right?
Yeah, Roman, I still do the show, The Elvis Hour. It's been on the air for 30 years. It's on an AM and FM station in Memphis and that other broadcast facility. I'm over there, too. So,
well, we can go ahead and tell them where to find it, because I think out here we can catch you on the satellite. Is that correct?
Yes. I'll be on Sirius XM satellite today from 2 to 6 nationwide. Come on at 2 o'clock Memphis time, Central Standard Time. We call it Elvis time. But I'm on from 2 to 6 today, every Friday live from Graceland. I've been for 5 years. And then they what they do, they do a neat thing. They record the show. You and I call it recording. They call it something else today. But I say they record it, and then they play it back Monday night, and it's called GK Replay. So I'm on that facility about 14 hours a week because they also play my Elvis Hour there.
GK, it's a pleasure talking to you. I look forward to reading all of this book. When I get back to Memphis in January, I'm going to try to catch up with you. How's that?
Hey, Ray, please, Roman, please come by and just come on, because we have an open door policy at that little radio booth. And I'd like to talk to you, man. Thanks for the
All right. Hey, thanks for being on the program, and it's an honor talking to you, George.
Hey,